there was a study that Dr. Mark Hyman put on his Instagram recently, and it said a recent study confirms that limiting sugar for the first 1,000 days of life can dramatically reduce the risk of chronic disease later in life. So,
Wow.
why does this window matter? From conception to the age of 2, the brain, metabolism, and immune system are developing at lightning speed.
Yeah.
Nutrition in this window sets the foundation for lifelong health. Meanwhile, I'm reading this and I'm dying. I'm like, yes, we're past 2 and I did it.
I did
Um,
it.
there's going to be a shit ton of stuff I did wrong, like Perrier and Lacroix, because she's been drinking Perrier, and we just saw a
Oh
U.S. Consumer
gosh.
Reports article about that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Um, a recent study published in Science used a natural experiment to prove this. So, UK sugar rationing that ended abruptly in September 1953. When UK sugar rationing ended in September 1953, this is the experiment, sugar consumption doubled overnight. Before, it was 40 grams of sugar a day. That was within the current dietary guide.
Yeah.
After it became 80 grams of sugar. And researchers compared adults conceiving just before versus rationing ending. And this isolation sugar impact on lifelong health. And what they found was early life sugar restriction provided protection lasting 50 plus years. So type 2 diabetes, 35% risk reduction. Onset delayed 4 years. Hypertension, 20% risk reduction. So, one dietary change during 1,000 days can alter disease risk for a lifetime. So, timing is important. In utero alone, accounted for a third of the total risk reduction. After 6 months, protection increased dramatically when solid foods began. The period when babies start eating solid food is the most critical window for sugar
Wow.
restriction. Modern infants consume 2 to 3 times more sugar than the protective levels found in this study. So, baby foods packed with added sugars, healthy, quoted, healthy
Yeah.
products with hidden sweeteners, no restrictions during the critical window. We are programming chronic disease from day one. So, this study tracked tens of thousands of people for decades and proved that sugar exposure from conception to age 2 programs disease risk for life. So, if you are pregnant or you have a child under 2, this window is open right now for you. What happens in these 1,000 days determines their metabolic health for the next 50 plus years. The first 1,000 days happen only once, and the science shows exactly why they matter.
You did it.
And I did it just, that was just my gut. And this is why I tell people all the time, listen to your gut, listen to your instincts. And, like we'd be at a restaurant. Sometimes my dad would like sneak a sweet potato fry. And I'm like, Dad, they're cooking in really awful oil. It's not that I'm
Yeah.
mad about the sweet potato fry. Let's make it at home with olive oil. But
Yeah.
no, I'm building her foundation. I am not. And that's why, like, I don't even make sugar-free cookies or sugar-free ice cream. Like, I make it for us. I never
Yeah.
let her see it because she'll eat sugar-free cookies here, fine. And then
Yeah.
when she goes out, she's going to think they are. And how do you explain to a 2-year-old that they're not the same?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I've kept her to just that. And even at her birthdays, she never wanted any of the cakes or any of it because she doesn't like it. She doesn't
Yeah.
want to watch TV because she loves reading books. She loves
Yes.
being outside. So for
Yeah.
me, it has been so important to be very mindful of what we're doing with her as we're building this foundation for her future. And yeah, it was devices and it's being outside, and it's what she's eating. And so we
Yeah.
had to do the added thing of every time we go to a restaurant, we bring our own food with us
Yeah.
because I know I can control the elements. So I bring her salmon and her garbanzos and her fruits and her vegetables, and she loves it.
Yeah.
And she just recently ate her first sandwich. So she's like, sandwich. I love sandwich. I love hamburger. And I'm like, okay, let's not make this a habit. But,
Yeah. But
and
see,
so, yeah.
that's something you would have never given her at this first stages of her life, like a
Mm-mm.
sandwich or a hamburger, because you were setting her up for that success.
Yeah.
And now it's like the research is out there and it shows it.
It
And
blew me away when I saw that because I've
that
worked
is,
so hard because of the diabetes in our family, because of all the
yeah,
health issues. I'm like, I
yeah,
am not playing with her. We are not
yeah.
playing. And so I'm really grateful because her immune system, she caught a cold the other day. It lasted 1 day.
Oh, that's
It was
awesome.
in and out. Like she's
Yeah.
so strong.
Oh my gosh, I wish I could take back the years of knowing that. And I wasn't, I want to say that I wasn't as proactive, I think, with my kids' health, and I wish I would have been
Can I
because
ask you, can I ask you why do you think you weren't?
I think because it was maybe just I thought I knew what I knew, and like, what I honestly thought it was, and this was me being oblivious to it and not really doing the research, but I think what it was that I was fed this notion that like kids are just, they're indestructible and their, immune systems, it's growing and it's okay. They can have whatever they want at this point right now because they're kids and it's not really going to affect them. Like it was just, I don't know where I got fed this like information and I was just like, yeah, it's fine. Like they can have birthday cake on like their birthdays because they're kids. It's fine. But now, as I think about it, I'm like, man, my kids are really addicted to sugar. And it's so bad where I have to say, when I say no, it's like a whole thing. Like, but why? But why? Because that addiction is there. And it's like, they can't understand it. I mean, they're little, all of their brain hasn't really developed yet to really
Yeah.
understand the effects of it. So now I'm just like, man, I really wish, I think I was listening to Hill Squad when they were born, obviously like 8 years ago. It's as you see in the back, my son just turned eight
Yeah.
today. But I kind of wish that like, Heal Squad was around during that time so that I can really dive deep and take away these, little tidbits to really have them become the CEO of their health and set them up for success. So
Yeah. Well,
I
I
think
ask and I
yeah,
didn't expect that answer, but what I always tell people is you can't go backwards. You can only go forward.
yeah, true.
And you did the best you could with what you knew. You weren't exposed. I have had horrendous health situations
Yeah,
that have forced me to have to think and look at things. And so I wouldn't have been like this if I had Athena
yeah.
before all of this. My mom and dad would have been raising her, right? Because I would have been a
Yep,
busy bee working all over the
right.
place
Yep,
and thinking that that's what you're supposed to do and your grandparents help and whatever.
yep,
And by the way, there's no shame on that. It's
yeah,
just this is where my head was.
yep.
And they would have eaten stuff like I would have been a little mindful of sugar because of the diabetes already being in the family, but I'd have been like, they're fine, they're kids. Like I wouldn't have thought
Exactly.
like that.
Yep,
Now I look at it like, oh my God, this is a precious foundation we have to build very carefully.
yes,
And I'm so cautious because I know that like to I understand more now. I've been
yeah,
doing this show for so long. So when you know better, you do better. So don't be mad at yourself and don't beat yourself up because we only do what we can and what we know at the time.
yep,
And so now
exactly.
the best thing would be let's find an expert to come on the show that can help us understand great ways to reverse this behavior. Like, how do we get them
Exactly.
off the sugar addiction? Because it
Exactly.
doesn't mean that we throw our hands in the air now. No, well, how do we get them to care about health? Like, I
Yeah,
want to figure out how to create a curriculum in schools where kids can be the CEO of their health and be
yeah,
excited about it.
Heal Squad, we have been on quite the journey together, and we're hearing from so many of you just how much this show is helping you heal and get better, and it makes us feel so good. We love, love, love it, and we just ask that you don't keep it to yourself. Spread the message and share the show or your favorite episode with your friends. And if you want to help us even more, you can leave us a 5-star rating and a comment on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and follow us on Instagram at Heal Squad. You can also DM us anytime because we love connecting with you. And finally, you can also join us on Patreon for our monthly live heal events with world-class healers and ad-free episodes exclusive only to Patreon and our Super Heal Squad for as little as $10 a month. So go to patreon.com/Heal Squad to join. Getting better isn't easy, friends, but as I say all the time, it's a whole lot easier if we can do it together. We love you all so much, and we love doing this thing called life with you.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or mariamenounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.